Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to HIMediaTV. I am your host, Evan from HIMediaTV, and today I want to talk to you, ladies and gentlemen, about Everdark Sovereign Caligo, the Everdark Fissure in the fog. This was a fight that I liked. It was fun. It was probably one of the more, I'd say, inoffensive fights, personally, that I have done with the Everdark Sovereigns and Elden Ring Night Rain. And if I'm, being frank, it was nice. I'll go into a little more detail with the fight, but, I think probably the most interesting thing that I found with, so I want to predicate everything I'm about to say. I like the fight. I think it's fun. I think it's worth doing. Period. That being said, it was, I would kind of put it in the same kind of category as Everdark Night. I think that it is not as fair a fight as before, but it's certainly an inoffensive fight. There is a lot going on, sure. That is without a doubt. But it's also compared to the following Everdark Sovereigns we're going to review. It ain't bad. It also doesn't help the fight necessarily by the fact that it doesn't necessarily help that the Mountaintop of Giants it doesn't trivialize the fight, but it does make it significantly easier than it would have been otherwise. So, for those who are watching this, and the Mountaintop of Giants basically gives you 2 buffs if you complete it properly. You get an anti-dragon effect, all you have to do damage dragons, and you get a huge immunity, not immunity, but line immunity to frost. And not only that, every boss in Mountaintop of Giants gives you a increased frost resistance. So you can go into the Caligula fight, the Everdark Sovereign fight, with a pretty substantial resistance to her main, which again doesn't trivialize the fight. She has a lot of moving parts that can make it difficult, but it is something to be aware of. So her fight in general, well, obviously she starts in phase 2. This is relative standard, and so you would she flies in, starts doing a lot of punching ice rocks and stuff to your typical feature fuck fight. What's different? Well, she personally has these. Oh, what do you describe it? She did a couple things. Once you get her down to about a quarter of her health, she transitions to her phase 3. In her phase 3, she very much earned her name of Fissure in the Fog, or rather Miasma of Night. My apologies. Her frost attacks become significantly more what's it called? Dark, I guess. There's like a purple hue to them in a degree, which is fine. They also build Frostbite a lot quicker, a lot quicker. To the point where if you aren't doing Mountaintop of Giants, you're going to have a really rough time. But not. I think the thing is that it's a dragon. There's nothing necessarily wrong with it. But dragons do what dragons do. They're going to fly the fuck all around the goddamn map. So what do? Well, get used to hitting for one attack because you don't, because that's how much stamina you have left, and then get hit in the fucking face because what the fuck it. It's make no mistake, it is a gorgeous fight, and it's a gorgeous fight that's also practical, unlike Augur. But unlike Augur, where I was basically lazy for its design more than anything, while kind of dancing around the fact that the fight itself was kind of awful to play. We persist. I have a lot. She does a couple things that are different to her. I don't necessarily think those are that much of an issue, but so she does a couple things, right? She does a couple things. She, first of all, will do this giant AoE attack. She'll do a kind of a little multifaceted sort of deal. It'll deal frostbite damage to you while you're in it, and shit damage. This is unavoidable. Then there will be an explosion, and you have to sort of get behind these ice pillars to sort of block the brunt of most of it. That are run like a bat out of hell to avoid it all anyways. It's entertaining, but, you know, that's the type of mechanic that if I wanted to play that, I'd go play online. Specifically the Marvel Watch, but that's a completely different game. You're not here for that. Another feature she has is she has this tail slam down effect, right? What that effectively does is it's a hard time, but you know, it just basically does like a piece-shaped AoE from the ground. Jumping doesn't allow you to avoid it, unfortunately. You gotta time your dodge fairly spectacularly to get that done. She also has this mechanic where she will apply ice armor. This ice armor is struck by the bridge. She deals a ton of chip damage, and I think you deal a little bit more damage to her for a first time, which is I'm not going to go very handy. The fight was bugged quite a bit. There was a point there was a thing you could do if you had missed, you know, the sorcery. You could quite literally just use that on her, and she would just completely fold. Like it would repeatedly break her ice armor over and over again, and as a result, she would, you know, basically die immediately. It was all the rage over on Reddit. No, I'm not Reddit. This is my girlfriend, she showed me. So, as far as the Rookie boss fight, if you're a main arranged character, I say go for it. I genuinely say go for it. And the reason why I say that is that because of the amount of running around you'll do, closing the gap can be mildly frustrating. And having the Iron Eye Recluse of that nature is very helpful. Very much a Revenant and Recluse heavy boss too. Fire is going to be your best friend and is critical. While too, again, physical character kind of get to her with a good sword, although his character skill does help immensely. Oh no, definitely boss. Like all the other sovereigns, definitely worth, you know, fighting once minimum. But I question, you know, it really does depend on the character and the build of the team you're running. This is not a solo boss whatsoever. I think you will have fun with it. God knows I did. That means it doesn't necessarily change the fact of you gotta be mindful. You have to be mindful. The entirety of this is lots of ice, lots of headache. It is something you have to stay aware of. The propensity, I would say, of, you know, wanting to just like go fight her like a normal dragon is strong. But, you know, breaking is very satisfying. But you have to keep in mind, if you're not doing enough, if you're not doing, you know, like getting the anti-dread effects, and you are playing up the character, you are going to have a rough time. That is not an opinion, that's just unfortunately a fact of the matter. I love the fight, like I said, very pretty. There's a nice feature in the sky that looks like she's looking at, like, you can watch from above, like just fighting Avatar of her or whatever. It is a remarkably, you know, stunning fight. Not nowhere near as pretty as the Augur was. But again, it has significantly better games than the other. Then again, I would think most bosses play better than I ever saw for an Augur. All in all, Caligula, the Miasma Knight, was a really rewarding boss. Her relic is basically it's not the most fantastic thing on the planet. No shade to it, but I don't know. I can't really say that I'm particularly enamored with it like others. Because I'm getting into I'm reviewing after the fact, and I'm not exactly doing a great job doing them as they're happening. Because for context, at the time of recording, Gladius is the current one. Yeah, I'm a little bit behind. But that being said, I do genuinely enjoy
Hey, thanks for watching. If you want to talk to me outside of this video, outside of live streams, or just join the community and be a part of it, you can do so at HIMediaTV/Discord. Discord links there. We'd love to have you. And given the financial situation of the economy right now, I know this is a tall ask, but if you have the scratch to spare, please consider donating and becoming a supporter at HIMedia.gg/Tim. All of our perks are serviced through our Discord channel, including early access videos, exclusive videos, and more. Your generosity is a blessing, and $1 a month is a boon to my mental health. Thank you so very much for watching. I appreciate you, and have a great day.